it's Di here from Di's Den and welcome to another Sunday video. This week I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's called a Star Gatefold card and it is gorgeous. It does stand up on the points and when it's closed down it will fit into a 6x6 envelope because of the height there is 5 and 3/4 inch by 5 3/4 inch, so it will need to go into a 6x6 envelope. But I just thought it was so gorgeous and I wanted to make one. So oops, stand up, you drunken thing. It's because my board here is not straight, but it does stand up on its points and it looks like this, and it folds down nicely and flat, so you can see it's quite flat. Okay, so we are going to make a Christmas card. So let me pop this one over here and I'll show you what we're going to be using. So I've already done a bit of the stamping because I actually embossed. So we're using the traditional labels bundle and I'm going to stamp "'Tis the Season" on our writing panel. I have put Season's Greetings on one and Merry Christmas on another label. I will show you what they are in a moment. So these are the labels. I haven't got around to putting them all together yet into there, and I did them with this label for the Season's Greetings, and then I cut another piece out that was a bit bigger, which I'll show you, bit bigger, and then I actually trimmed it around the edges there so that it's the same shape. So it's got the nice border around it, and I used this one for the Merry Christmas. Now I cut this out twice, and what I did is on this line where there's these dots, I actually cut all the way around like so and took that off, so that I cut it out again in the gold, and it just gives that nice edge to it. What do you reckon? I think that looks really gorgeous, don't you? So that's the dies that I used for that, and I'm going to stamp the back of my card in real red. So, and I didn't bring over the cardstock. I should bring that cardstock over. Just hang 5. So I can show you. It is absolutely the most gorgeous paper there is, I think, for this Christmas book. It is really lovely. This is what we're going to be using, this beautiful red. So it has these lovely, most of them have got the gold elements on them. So this one's got the pink flower poinsettias in it. That one's got red poinsettias, and it's red on the back. And this one's got the Secret Sea on the back, so that's really pretty too. That paper is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to make a card using that. And that's got this beautiful green on the back, which I'm guessing is Old Olive, yes. I guessed right. And then we have this one, which is another lovely one. And what do you know? Come on, turn over. That's got that Secret Sea on the back with a nice edge on it. So that one's that one. And that's the pink one, which is really pretty. And the red one that we're using, which has another lot of green on the back. And then this one, which is really, really lovely as well. And that has a checker on the back. So that is really nice, and that paper is called Traditions of Christmas. So that's the paper I'm going to be using today. And I have glue all over my fingers again, because I glued a few bits together already. So let me show you what you're going to need, which is a fair bit of bits and pieces, but not too bad. So that's my 2 sayings for the inside of my card, or front and the inside. So let's pop them on one side. Let's move all of this along and we will see what we've got. Alright, so we need a main piece of card. Now you do need 12 by 12 cardstock for this card. unfortunately, and I don't have any Stampin' Up 12 by 12. So this is a bit out of my stash, which looks exactly, when I put it up against Real Red, it looks exactly the same as Real Red, so I was really happy with that. So this piece measures 12 inches by 4 inches. Then you're going to need a piece, 2 pieces of card that measure 4 inches by 4 inches. So I'm going to put one on one side, and then you're going to need 2 pieces of, have I cut enough pieces out here? I think I have, yes, because that's for the back. So you'll need 2 pieces that measure 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and 2 pieces of designer series paper that measure 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. Now why have I got that? Oh, I know. Yes, I think I know what I'm doing here. I think I know what I'm doing. Yes, that goes with that. That goes on the inside of the card like that. So that's going to be the inside one. For the outside, so that goes like this. This one is here. This one is this one here. Okay? So I don't get muddled up. I'm just going to go through it slowly. For the front one, for this one here, you're going to need another piece of card that measures, that's a 4 by 4, and then another piece you're going to need at 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and your DSP will be 3 by 3. So you need to make sure that those ones that are a different size to these 2 layers is for your front. Then you're going to need 4 pieces of, what have I done with the other one of them? Come on. Oh, there it is. So you're going to need 4 pieces that measure 3 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 4 pieces that measure 3 1/2 by 1 1/2. So that's for the card. And then our writing panel is another piece of the your second layer, which measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and another piece that measures 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. That's your writing layer that's going to go on the back of the card like so. Alright, so don't worry that I feel like I've maybe made you a bit muddledy, because I muddled myself a bit there. So I'm going to put these all in order, then I'll know what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to score my main card before I do anything else. So on the long side, we're going to score our main card at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. So that's 2, 4, 8 and 10. That's all the scoring we're going to do. We're going to pop our scoreboard down, and we're going to bring our card into the second score line, and we're going to fold that as a valley fold, sorry, and then we're going to bring our other one back as a mountain fold. So we have one side like that. Now we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Second score line in, valley fold. First score line, mountain fold. So you now have a card that looks like this, and it's 4 by 4. So what we're going to do next is we're going to pop our layer here in the middle, and then our 4 pieces on the sides like so. So I'm going to glue these 2 bits together. Let's hope my glue is going to work today. I didn't check it beforehand. Trust me not to do that. I can glue that one together, and I'll glue this one together. Now if you've got a pattern that is directional, you need to make sure that when you cut these pieces, you cut them as portrait. with your middle piece it's not quite so bad because you can turn it around. Where this pattern on mine has a lovely pattern on it, but it doesn't seem to be like really like an upside down or, you know, a direction. So I'm not quite so worried with this one. If it looks like it as I put it together, I will move it around. 1, 2, 'Doesn't look like there's much glue on there, but I'll tell you there really is. 3, 4, and the last panel. So that's our main card done. Let me turn that over and give that a squash down. See how pretty it is? Just like that, isn't it beautiful? Anyway, so that's our main part of our card done. Now we want to take our front pieces, that's these section, and we're going to cut all of these in half on the diagonal. So we're going to bring in our board, and we're going to cut these all on the diagonal. So put the point right in the groove there and right in the groove there, and start in the middle because you don't want to burr the edges over. We're going to do that with that piece. That piece, and our piece of designer series paper. It's probably more important that you start in the middle with your designer series paper than any of the others because it's a bit more, not as thick, so we need to make sure we don't burr the edges over. So we're going to pop these together like so. They're all going to go together like that. Really pretty. I love the way this is looking. Let me pull the glue off of the top of that. Okay, there we go. Come here. Oh, I must have had glue on my finger, look at that. Ah. We have nice layers there on that one. That's better. Do the same on this one. Okay, once they're done, we give them a nice squash down. I like to squash mine down. If you wonder why, I just find that I don't get any air bubbles underneath them. So I have my two pieces like so, and we're going to bring in our main card. We're going to close our main card up like this, and we're going to pop these on here. So we want it so that it's even, so we're going to pop that right down the middle there of my board. I've got something sticking on the end of that. So I've got something to line it up with, so I can line it up on the 4 sides. But I'm going to turn it over so that I actually don't put glue where I don't want it. So I'm going to go like so. And then I'm going to turn that back. Turn it back, not throw it back. And lining it up with the card edge here. Right. Making sure that it's nice and even. Like so. Let's wipe that off. There we go, that's wiped off. So once we're happy with that, I've got a little bit of glue on the front here. I'm lucky that this glue will wipe off if you do that. Okay, so we've got one side on, and we're going to do the other side exactly the same so it matches up. So we're going to turn this one over, lining it up as much as you can as you go, so that you can pop your glue down. And once you've done that, you can move it out of the way if it's easier. Alright, and then we're going to bring it in and we're going to line it up with that side there and bring it down so it's in line with the other one. So it looks like a star on the front. And it's lined up along this edge here. So look at that. Lined up on that edge. How gorgeous is that? Now that's the front of our card done. Woohoo! Let's give that a good press down now. And we can then give that a good press on the side so we can see that I've actually got mine a little bit lower here than I have there. And that's not a problem. Now it won't stand up like this, so we have to do our next part. So our next part is our other 4x4 piece, along with our 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 and our 3.5 by 3.5. So we're going to glue all of those 3 pieces together now. Like so. And once we've done that, we'll give them a good squish down as well. So the best way to get this to sit in here is, as you can see, it's not going to sit, is actually to close the card and turn it over. And I can see that I have a little bit of glue in the wrong spot down here. So I will use my glue remover just to get that off at a later date. So I need to make sure I've got this with my openings at the top, and then I'm going to pop this on here back to front like so, so that it lines up with that one on the front. So it's lined up nicely on all 4 sides. And I'm going to bring my ruler in, and I'm going to then bring this in about just enough to say that, you know, the pencil width, blade width, whatever you want to call that, and draw a line. Then I'm going to turn it around, making sure that it's still all nice and even, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side, like so. Once I've done that, I can then bring my paper, my card, and open it up, and I can then bring in my scissors. You know, I should have brought my other scissors across, but I've only got my snip, and just cut just on the inside of your pencil mark, like so. Now again, if you've got a directional paper, you do need to make sure, so you need to mark the back before you cut it. because you don't want to cut it and then you've cut it the wrong way. So that is then going to fit into side there, and it should be just to the edge of your first layer in there. Okie dokie. So let's put those bits in the bin. We're going to turn this one over again, and we're going to pop that on there. So again, because we don't want to put glue where we don't want it, we're going to just glue this. And we want to make sure it's going to be glued down nicely. So I found that the easiest way was to roughly lay it down and then bring the other one in and then push it down into place before it sticks. Nope, still got to go down further. There we go, look at that, right behind that one now, so it's all in place nice and neatly, and then I can open it up and give this a good squash down. Now you could contrast these if you wanted to, so my card's going to stand up like this. How gorgeous does that look in those reds? So I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to actually give this another good burnish on this edge. And you can see I've gone a little bit over, but once again I will use my little eraser when I'm finished to get it out of the way. So we're going to put our back panel on now. We're going to put our writing panel on. Oh, I haven't turned that before. And I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to stamp "'Tis the Season." I think I need to let that dry a tiny bit first. I don't want to smudge it too much. Once again. Now, remembering if you've got a directional paper, which way to turn it, so that you don't have the back one way up and the front the opposite. I've done that before, more than once, thinking I was the right way round, and I'm not. And I'm going to lay that one on top of there. Like so. Now, I found it easier after I've done that, just to open it up like so, to give it a squash down, and you can probably do it from the other side just as easy. Okay, so that's the back of our card done for our writing panel. So now all we're going to do is we're going to pop our pieces on the front. So once again, I'm going to pop mine like so. So we only want to stick it on one side like so, otherwise you won't be able to open your card. So we're going to turn it over and draw a line where you want to put the glue. Close your card. Just make sure your glue's not showing. Yoo-hoo, I got the glue not showing. And I left my other bits on the side over there. My embellishments, so I'll need to just pop and get them after I've popped this one in here. So I'll pop this one in here that says Season's Greetings. Put the pin in my glue, and I'll go and get my embellishments. Ouch! Okay, I've got these beautiful ones here. These are called Traditional Sparkling Sequins, and they can come in 3 sizes. And I'm going to use these gold ones here to pop on the front of my card. So I'm going to hold that closed. So what can I use to hold it closed? There we go. I'll just pop that on there, just so it's easier for me to pop them on. And I think I'm going to use the middle size. Where shall I put this one? Just here, I think. Oh, wow. That is just fantastic. I love it as a Christmas card. It has come out absolutely beautiful. It does, over time, sit flatter to go in, and it will go in an envelope, as I say, a 6x6. But it will lay a bit flatter for you to put onto, you know, the card. And I think it stands up beautifully. You can't see it standing up that way. It looks beautiful with the Merry Christmas on the front and the season's greeting inside. And then my writing panel on the back with the 'Tis the Season. So if you've enjoyed today's card, and I hope you have, it's a really lovely little card. And if you've enjoyed that, and it can be done for this one, like sending love and joy, big hugs for a good friend, and best wishes on the back. So this one is done with paper that's actually in the main catalogue, I believe. This one, I'm not sure whether this paper is in the catalogue, in the new Christmas catalogue, or whether it's an online one. I'm not sure. So please don't quote me one way or the other. If you want to know, you can always message me and I will look it up and let you know. But if you've enjoyed this and you'd like to know more about these products, just please give me a hoy. I'd love to be your demonstrator, but I can only be your demonstrator if you live in Australia. If you live in different parts of the world, I can put you in touch with somebody in your area. If you like this project, you can head down below to Die Stand for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. That's my Facebook group, and you can get the written tutorial. So I look forward to seeing you there. And if you've enjoyed today, thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.